I think there's still stigma based around fashion that आपका बेटा तो ब्लाउज सिलता है या कपड़े सिलता है, दर्जी है.
Fashion is a kind of rebellion. And yes, when you dress in a bizarre way, the masses do get shocked, but it also opens up a lot of conversation.
A good example is Ranveer Singh. He started wearing the ghagra. And in my college and in my cousin's college, people, like the boys have started wearing ghagras and saris as well.
Fast fashion is a symptom of social media and globalization.
Is fashion a concept meant only for the rich and the elite? Do words like fast fashion and sustainability haunt your mind at the same time? Bizarre fashion trends, do they irritate you or do they turn your heads? How's artificial intelligence changing this industry? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abhinav Trivedi, and in this fashionistic episode of The Old View, we are at NIFT Delhi. Let's go and talk to some students of fashion design, fashion technology, and take their opinion on these subjects. What do they think on these burning issues? Let's go and find out. Hello, NIFT! Hello! How are you guys? Great! You guys had lunch? Yeah. So how's the Josh? High! So today guys, we'll be talking about fashion technology, fashion, emerging fashion trends, role of technology, and of course, your field in general. But before I begin, I would like to introduce our guest.
I'm one of the first batches of NIFT, your foundation, when it was established by FIT New York. That was the first course was done where I was one of the students. So I've been where you guys are many a times.
So along with Rina, we also have the director of NIFT.
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Anupam Jain. I'm a design faculty and presently holding a charge of campus director.
So guys, it's great to have each one of you on the show. We'll talk very basic first. Can you talk to your non-fashion peers, your friends who are not a part of fashion technology? Do you find it difficult to explain to them what essentially is your course? What essentially you do? Does that happen with you? Yes. And why do you think that happens?
I think there's still stigma based around fashion that आपका बेटा तो ब्लाउज सिलता है या कपड़े सिलता है, दर्जी है. So there's a lot of stigma that we can't like go around and say that कि we are fashion designers, we are knitwear designers, or we are textile designers, or we are communication designers. There's not ऐसे distinctive branches that people actually know that this exists and we can pursue that as a career option.
When I told my parents and everyone that I want to do MDes, they were like, "अच्छा NIFT में, then तो तू parlor खोलेगी, beauty parlor खोलेगी." So they don't know anything about this still.
So I think it has a lot to do with how we behave as Indians. Okay. A lot of colonial government has influence on it because we as Indians couldn't get out of this whole roti kapra makan thing. So kapra is like kapra for us. A technologically influenced whole fashion industry itself becomes very challenging for us or as an industry altogether to make people understand it as not just as a luxury or just not as a want. It could be also a need basis.
I think fashion also has a very negative impact, or it is negatively portrayed in our films. It is said to be a bad industry. There is a million things between being a darji and just being the the next Manish Malhotra or the next Satyapal or anybody else. There has to be some bridge to it. Everybody wears fashion, everybody wants to be fashionable. They just don't want to be associated with the negative image of it.
Rina ji, I'll come to you now. I heard the word darji a couple of times. So the question is that people usually assume or associate darji with fashion technologist. Do you find tenacity in that statement?
I would be a very proud darzi if I'm a good darzi. I am delighted to be a darzi. For me, it is an object to be, it would be an honor to be a good darzi. And if NIFT or any other colleges of India can turn you into a good darzi, then you too have achieved great virtue and great success in what you are aiming to do.
Fashion allows you to express yourself. When it comes to bizarre fashion senses, which we witness now and then, is that also a form of expression for you? Or do you think that adds another layer of miscommunication between the masses and what fashion technologists actually do?
fashion is actually an expression, and it is not just a designer's job to just wear clothes any longer. You are telling masses indirectly what kind of trends are going to be in, what colors, textures, fabrics, everything is going to be in. And that medium expression in a bizarre way is very eye-catching. And now people have started to understand this coded language, which till now was not understood by many. So it is more of a artistic way of telling people that, see, you are supposed to wear this, but I am really rubbing it on your face.
Okay. Yeah, anybody else? You can disagree with your professor. It's actually okay. Yeah.
You could be wearing whatever you want. It could be what we can think of extremely glamorous or bizarre. But the moment you're in campus, the judgment goes away. In my undergrad, we had a professor, male professor, who would wear a sari. So over the course of 4 years, we got used to it and we started appreciating the story behind it. But if that man is walking out in the masses, like, what is going on? So I think that is also a very major point of difference in the way we think and in the way masses think.
When we go outside now, the expression that we carry as in what we wear expresses much about our personalities as well. So, we have to carry ourselves in that way, in what we would like to be perceived by everyone.
Let me add a layer to it, guys. Have you been to a movie? All of you must have been to movies. You've seen that Mukesh ad? Okay, that no smoking ad. Okay, is there anything wrong about that ad ethically? No. But it still fails to communicate what it wants to communicate. You hate that ad. Okay, my question being, the point which I'm trying to make here is, when you're trying to express yourself, you can do anything you want. But if you want an idea to be percolated in a society, you have to communicate it in a manner which is appealing to the masses. And that is where my question is coming from. Bizarre fashion sense. Okay, now you understand where I'm coming from? Yes. Who wants to answer now? Yeah.
Fashion is a kind of rebellion. In this world and age, you have to stand out, you have to be unique. And yes, when you dress in a bizarre way, the masses do get shocked, but it also opens up a lot of conversations. It also opens up your mind to understanding not only what you might be feeling that you're not admitting, but it also helps you understand the other side of any kind of conversation that's happening.
Very fair point. Very fair point. She says that fashion has to be a rebel.
Yeah, so I think in this generation, when we want to communicate an idea, the presence of social media is very important. And when designers use this avant-garde designs, so in social media, आपको दिख जाता है कि ओ उसने ये पहना था, तुमने देखा. So if a person, a common person won't be able to understand the design, but brands like H&M, Zara, these will replicate the knockoffs of these designs. And in the end, the mass people would be able to wear it somehow. The expression of that design in a very substitute manner, they would be wearing it in a matter of time.
A good example is Ranveer Singh. He started wearing the ghagra and it was he was like, people ने बहुत गलत बोला starting में. Mass was not accepting it, but later on they started accepting it. And I come from a tier 2 city, I think. And in my college and in my cousin's college, people, like the boys have started wearing ghagras and saris as well. So for a start, it's a bizarre fashion. Yeah, it will start as a bizarre fashion, but after later on, people can accept it.
Going forward, when you deal with somebody who doesn't understand F of fashion, how do you communicate that? Give me an example.
All of you guys are going to become designers, and if you want to have an inference of your expression and go to the end result, which is called making clothes, you will be talking to a guy who does not understand F of fashion, but he is the man who will make your clothes, who has made our clothes. आपने जो भी पहना है, वो उसी ने बनाया जिसको F of fashion नहीं पता, पर वो जानता है इसे बनाना. So, yes, they are your skilled workmen. Say when I invented a lycra chudidar, everybody thought I was mad. They say, क्या है ये बना रही है, पजामी सी लंबी कर रही है. But it became a big rage. ज़रूरी नहीं है. You had a Manish Arora who came out of this school, who went on to become a legend of his own type. फिर मैंने देखा सारे students उसी के जैसे कपड़े बनाने लग गए. तो आप में से भी कोई ऐसा होगा जो सबको समझाएगा अपनी भाषा में F of fashion.
Of course, other very well-known graduate, much more younger, Sanjay Garg.
Sanjay Garg.
Raw Mango. His brand is Raw Mango, and I'm sure you have heard of that. He comes from a very small place in Rajasthan, and went on to become what he is today, their company. So I think there's no ending if you know what you are doing. And I think we as NIFT is also responsible for making the entire country understand what is fashion. Whether they appreciate us as a professionals or the subject, but somewhere at back of their mind they want to. I think we have made our country realize that okay, you can dress better yourself. So starting from somebody a cab driver to somebody a CEO, they have become conscious. I notice senior IAS officers well dressed now. So that typical image of white shirt and thing is not there in bureaucracy. They are very conscious.
Since I'm talking to fashion students, who would be your favorite fashion icon and why?
Sabyasachi is the best because who doesn't want to have a Sabyasachi lehenga on her wedding? That's the dream. So we are kind of working towards that dream only.
I think it would be Anita Roda.
Anita Roda.
For the brand Pero, because I really love the kind of work that she's doing right now.
Marilyn Monroe, because she was way ahead of her time and she was hated just because she was beautiful, and she proved everyone wrong by wearing a potato sack, and she still looked beautiful.
My favorite icon is Rahul Mishra because he has उन्होंने ये काम किया है कि इंडियन सिलुएट्स और इंडियन आर्ट को ही प्रेजेंट्स इन अ वेरी गुड मैनर internationally.
When we hear about fashion technology or fashion, it's all big brands, English names. Part of them are also Indian, of course. We're talking about Sabyasachi and all. Whatever sells in Lajpat or Sarojini, is that not fashion? If not, why? And why is there an influence of elite English culture on fashion?
Fashion designer, or as a designer, you are communicating not just the fashion silhouette alone, you are communicating the fabric, the print, this kind of communication, whether it is started from the top-notch fashion show and how it has made its way down, trickle down to, let's say, Sarojini market or Lajpat Nagar market. At the end of the day, it does not matter. What matters is you are wearing a trendy color. What you're wearing is a trendy silhouette. And that's what we as designers want to see. That our job is not for only a segment of the society, but as a human race, how we are changing us.
Like you mentioned about Sarojini and Lajpat or all these places where you go and thrift clothes. So I think fashion for me is creativity. So when you go there and get clothes and make outfits of your own, that's better than wearing just brands which are already made by some designer.
For a person who cannot afford, let's say, high-end brands or anything, Sarojini and Lajpat become the place where you get trendy clothes, where you can pick and choose your own style, where you can have everything on your plate on a budget. Okay. So for us as fashion students, we are not earning right now. Even for people who are in their bachelors, if they want to be trendy, because with industrialization and globalization, you see trends everywhere. Sure. On Instagram, on YouTube, there are fashion influencers right now. So to actually have your own personal style incorporated in your daily life, I think that is where Sarojini and Lajpat help.
For example, common men, when they started wearing jeans, their jeans got torn. And this approach then was adapted by the high-end fashion brands to evolve it. So yeah, it is an example
streetwear
of streetwear as well. Yes.
Sure. Now, sustainability is a big challenge, and fast fashion is amongst the top polluters in the world. Okay, why do you think that is happening? Number one, what needs to change, and how it can change?
Proudly, all the bad guys wear everything you own at least 32 times. It's not said by me; it is said by the United Nations. That is one of the ways for you to save the earth.
Fast fashion is a symptom of social media and globalization. Because one of my friend, I asked her why you don't wear your clothes from the past year. She said वो पुराना हो गया है, अब मैं वो पहनूंगी नहीं क्योंकि वो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. So that's social media is something that might be prompting people to move to fast fashion more.
I think it has a lot to do with the economic condition of the country or the area altogether. Also the policies that are associated with it. It's the loopholes that these companies, these big ass companies, that they run around. And again, say this is India. I sell a jeans for 3,000 rupees, which is not accessible to the mass. Whereas for a certain category which owns the most of the money of the country, 3,000 is literally nothing. While the mass won't buy a 3,000 or maybe buy it just once, the rich might just buy it once and wear it just once. Nothing more than that. So it's a disparity in the economic conditions of the whole crowd itself.
We are all hearing about artificial intelligence, okay, and its impact on design and on technology. How is AI changing everything in your industry? Let me start from the basics.
Particularly the closest thing to the customers is retail stores. So if we talk about then simply earlier you used to give the money, now you can just scan and quickly go. Another thing that you see in Starbucks that is happening in another fashion brands too is that you can order online and you can just pick it up and go. So it is all about how convenient are you making it for the customers. In that sense, AI is doing a much better job.
I think we should look at AI more as a tool rather than as a barrier, because the way the times are evolving. I mean, before artworks would be made by hand, and then it was started to get developed in softwares, and now it's artificially being created. Not just being created, you could actually see it draped on the garment or on a person in real. So it's a technology which is going to help you. The only deal is that you have to get yourself efficient with the changing times.
Sometimes it becomes very overwhelming and very scary when all these technologies, like there is so much out there, some things we don't even know. Like we are using some softwares, okay, but there are softwares that are doing these things itself. So what is the use of that? I agree that all these are tools, but these are developing so in such a small time that by the time we learn one particular software, there's already another.
As you said earlier कि fashion कैसे percolate करेगा tier 3 cities में, so this is one of the reasons AI, क्योंकि tier 3 cities में भी smartphones होते हैं, हर जगह smartphones है. So AI is what is it doing? It is very easy कि AI वो closest thing है to the customers. So वो अपना customer base बढ़ा रहे हैं brands बहुत easily AI के through.
We are gonna see fashion as an experience. For instance, metaverse. There are like so many brands since like past year they are like entering into metaverse, and it has been successful. And there's a lot of future scope in that. And AI has been revolutionary in terms of predicting, forecasting the trends, and it can even help in the supply chain management.
The boon part is that, yeah, it helps you save time, save money, brings you don't need to spend extra costs on certain fields and techniques which AI can help you resolve. The bane is there's no hand feel. The real experience changes.
We are going to be the people who give prompts to AI. We are going to be the people who will use it as a tool, like everybody said.
When it comes to technology and AI, ladies and gentlemen, students of NIFT do have an answer. When it comes to sustainability, students of NIFT do have an answer. Of course, the perception varies from student to student. For now, the debate is on. We shall see you on the next episode with another college, with another topic.